Alright folks, the Nintendo Direct is over and done with. The most exciting game they showed was golf, so that's how that one went, and now the gaze is turned towards Sony. Now Sony doesn't do E3 anymore, so I'm thinking we're gonna get some big news here. Last November, Sony did a soft launch for the PlayStation 5. They made 100 units, and those sold out very quickly, but if you missed your chance, don't worry, because they are shipping out 10 more consoles later this month. Before we talk PS5 though, let's talk PS4, okay Harold? Is that okay with you? When the PS4 came out in 2013, that console was a joke. There was so many big games that year. GTA, 3D World, Last of Us, Pikmin, Bioshock, Rayman, Zelda, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, Metal Gear. What did you have on the PS4? You have Resogun, which, I'm not talking shit on Resogun, but Resogun, that's it? Then 2014, Nintendo just fucking steamrolled these guys. Mario Kart, Bayonetta, Donkey Kong, the 3-hit combo. Sony had nothing. It wasn't until 2 to 3 years after it launched that the PS4 started to become a respectable console. So the question is, how long are we gonna have to wait for PS5 to get its first real deal game? Naughty Dog. This is Sony's golden studio. They put PlayStation on the map with Crash Bandicoot, and gradually over the PS3, PS4 era, they have become the driving force behind PlayStation. These guys just put out Last of Us 2, so their next project should probably come out like next month. It should probably be done. I'm thinking it's Jak and Daxter 4, think about it, which is actually a reboot titled Jak and the Legend of the Ancient Crab. I would love to see Naughty Dog really go into left field here and not do another shooter, come back to doing 3D platformers and using everything they've learned from, Uncharted and Last of Us. Would this somehow stack up to Mario Odyssey? Probably not. Is there any marketability in the Jak and Daxter name? Probably not. But Neil Druckmann has gone on record saying that their next project will be very cool. So it's probably Jak 4 and the Golden Crab. PlayStation, show me Jak 4 and the Golden Crab. Okay, hear me out. Next Naughty Dog game is a new IP. Dinosaurs are involved, but they're cute dinosaurs, but they have guns. It's called Dino Gunther. Gameplay wise, it'll be similar to Uncharted, but with a heavier emphasis on platforming and exploration. It's still going to be very story driven with that naturalistic dialogue you expect from Naughty Dog, except that dialogue is now coming out of a dinosaur's mouth. I do think there is this expectation for Naughty Dog's games to push the envelope in terms of realistic graphics, so check this out. It's going to be goofy. You're going to have a photorealistic human character that gets sucked into a, cartoony video game world. Meanwhile, Gunther, who is from the game, he will get sucked into the real world. So you'll have these two very contrasting art styles. And there's a golden crab. Alright, Sony, show me Gunther.
That was a chilling new look at Five Nights at Freddy's security breach.
Grand Theft Auto 6. Sony, show me Grand Theft Auto 6.
Zelda?
Oh, this is Pokemon. Wait a minute. This is like an open world Pokemon. This is like a new video game. What the heck? It's like the Pokemon people actually made a new video game. It kind of looks like they made it in Dreams game though. This does not look very good. How the fuck is this the top selling video game franchise? This shit is making me mad. Let's talk about like a real video game. Resident Evil 8. Now, this looks funky, man. There's a big guy that comes out of a thing and he's like, what are you buying? Resident Evil is on a roll right now, but it's also a weird time for new players to jump into the franchise. They remade 2 and 3. So you're like, well, are they going to remake 0 and 1 and Code Veronica? And turns out, no. They're remaking Resident Evil 4 next. However, from what I remember, RE7 was kind of a clean break, which is probably why they're calling this one Resident Evil Village and trying to be like, hey, fuck those other games. Deathloop. Now, for my money, I like Fruit Loop more, but that's just me. This looks fun, but what they really need is a really stupid-ass, wacky story. Remember Dishonored? No, of course not. Nobody remembers those games because the story in that game was the most generic shit in the world. The game itself was very well made. You had this great stealth action gameplay. The levels were, really detailed and polished. Deathloop, you just need a good story. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece story. Just make it stupid. Make it weird. Make it different than just generic 101 formula bullshit. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Now we're talking my language over here. Ratchet and Clank on PS4 was the best one I've played yet. You had all these cool weapons like the disco ball and the pixel shotgun. The visuals were incredible. The only thing that game struggled with was, again, story. It was a remake of the original PS2 game, which itself had a very disjointed story, but it was also a tie-in movie game with the Ratchet & Clank movie, so for some reason they just spliced in random scenes from the movie into the game, even though the game was telling a different story, while also trying to make sense out of the random movie clips shoved in there. Are you confused yet? This isn't really the type of game where the story is going to make or break it, but it wouldn't take too much effort to do a better story than the PS4 game. Knack 3. Now Sony, show me Knack 3. Uh-oh. Sony has shut down the studio that makes Knack. Elden Ring. Am I right, gamers? Gamers, am I right? Show me Elder's Ring.
I'm a wizard. Take the power of the Elder Scroll to shoot a dragon.
Masterpiece. It's the greatest masterpiece of a game from Software. These guys are on a rampage. Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro. These guys are going berserk. We don't know much about this game, but I'm calling this right now. It's gonna come out in March 2023. We do know that Throne Man is involved. We know they're going back to the medieval fantasy setting, and apparently it's going to be open world. Yes, open world. When I heard that, I went, uh-oh, they are not playing it safe here. This is a gamble game. Now, the last two gamble games that came out were Cyberpunk and Death Stranding. So there is a very real chance this could blow up in their face. I'll take 10 copies. Gran Turismo 7. For some reason, I started getting into these simulation racing games last year, and what I found out is that racing against the computers is fucking boring, but racing against your own times in time trial mode is actually really fun. Unfortunately, the campaign of every racing game is built around racing computers. Will Gran Turismo 7 be smart enough to take its incredible handling and the photorealistic graphics and give them the single-player campaign they deserve? No, but they are adding a character called Rupert. Alright, enough fucking around. Sony, bring out the big guns. God of War 2. Sony, show me God of War 2. Here it is.
Look, a Moogle. Stop!
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. They're remaking the first part of the remake. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new Kingdom Hearts. This shit is gonna go off the rails now. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It's gonna get insane now. There was gonna be 14 different games you have to play to get the fucking story. Before this remake is over, you are going to have to play a fucking Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale mobile game to get the full storyline. Sony lost to Project Rectangle.